Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Real Talk here on Shelbyville Now. It is May 22nd on Thursday afternoon.
Yes, it
It is
is.
now 2:22, Bo, and this is kind of a random time.
We're
So,
usually a little bit later, yeah, but it's random. But hey, you can watch it
but
later if you're not watching
well,
it
we
now.
do this whenever we have time to sit down and talk.
That's right.
We got three things to talk about today. I'm going to give a quick tariff update.
Let's do it.
No new deals. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm getting more and more newsletters from vendors, from people that I buy from. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no clue. We don't know what the price of your stuff's going to be. Therefore, everybody's frozen in time right now, just waiting. That's where we're at.
And if anything, they're guessing higher prices,
well,
or they're charging more.
well,
Right?
the 10% tariff, the baseline tariff, has created an increase
Yes.
on everything.
Right.
Okay, so that's starting to hit. You're starting to see some stuff happen,
Right.
and that's just going to be the way it
Yeah.
is.
And
So
then-
it's going to look like more inflation, but it's not. It's just price increases, which that in turn is inflation because you're getting less for your money.
Yeah, that's what
Your
that
dollar
is.
doesn't go as far. But
We're still waiting
um,
day to day. I mean, on any, there's no new.
there's no
info
nothing.
since
I
we've
mean,
talked
I'm
last.
I'm looking for India to be next. I'm looking for China and Trump to start butting heads again.
Yeah, they've kind of had a little cooling off period. They're supposed to be talking behind closed doors. We'll see what happens.
All right, so that's going to be a wait and see thing, just like it has been, but just expect higher prices. All right. The other thing is the big beautiful bill passed the House last night. Ain't nothing beautiful about it, Bo. When you're going to spend that kind of money, $5 trillion, and you've got ultra conservative guys like Thomas Massey and Rand Paul and Chip Roy saying, wait a minute, we're not cutting spending, and that's what we told the American people we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yet,
Yeah.
your entire Republican Party, except for these two or three outliers, are voting for it. We don't have any conservatives in Washington, D.C., Bo.
No, we don't. Look, there's not, I don't know if you can even, the definition of government's not conservative. Governments take from the people that they represent and spend, and then they just keep taking, and they have other needs, and then all these crazy needs. But let's get back. They have cut some things. They've cut a lot of crazy stuff out, but they've replaced it with other things. So you can call that cutting out. We're not, the transsexual monkeys are no longer, I don't believe, getting tested. They might be.
The DEI garbage is gone.
That's gone.
Replaced with some other garbage.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that's gone, but as a
bad
fiscal
stuff.
Conservative,
a lot of bad stuff.
A lot of
gone.
Yes, a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of very stuff that make you uncomfortable. But as fiscal conservative policy or fundamentals, they're replacing it with more. Now they're giving tax breaks. There's a lot of things that look really good in this bill.
They're buying us off.
But I haven't read the whole thing. A lot of things look really good. I don't know what looks really bad.
2/3 of it is pathetic. All right, and here's the thing: they're going to give us a tax break, but they're going to print more money. Yes. And they promised a balanced budget.
Yes.
I mean, your Republicans said we're going to balance this budget and we're going to be responsible. This is one of the most irresponsible bills, right next to the Green New Deal, that I've ever seen.
Well,
what I've seen of it. Okay, that's the problem.
Yes.
Nobody really knows what's in it.
They don't know what's in it. They sign, they compromise. They don't know. They don't read. They leave it to their other people to read and give.
They leave it to the bureaucrats.
But you know, when you're out representing your people, saying you need to cut, and then you add, and you've got this real good reason to add this. No, let's just cut. Let's breathe. Let's take a break. Let's try to balance the budget, and then we can.
Bo, you said something earlier about how they'll take from us. They don't even worry about getting tax dollars in now. All they're going to do is print the money.
Well, that's
they're
true.
just going to keep printing money, and they're not going to balance the budget. And that's what Thomas Massey. I'm with him on this. That man, no matter how much good stuff Trump has done, hey, I'm going to brag on him. I voted for him, and I still support him to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he's the best choice for our country. But the bureaucracy is at work.
Yes.
And this swamp is so deep and so corrupt and so it's not even the government does not benefit the American people. What in any at all. No. Government benefits itself and the people around it. Washington, D.C. is the most corrupt city in the world.
Yes, and fundamentally, a government is supposed to just be there for
They're
the
supposed
people.
To serve us.
Serve, police, let's protect. But here's another thing that we've got to look at. Whenever you start printing money and creating all of this fake wealth, you will create a big problem. It happened before, and it happened in a little place called Berlin in Germany back in the 30s, and we see what happened there. look, we need financial, economic stability, and we're going to have to do without for a little while. They're wanting to replace these. Well, yeah, we've given you a tax cut, but we've added come on.
$5 trillion in spending.
I'm not stupid. I like saving. I like tax cuts, whatever, but I'd rather, if I know that I'm getting good police, if I'm getting good, things that the government should, instead of all this waste. I still feel that there's a lot of waste in this. There's a lot of good. This is not an indictment against Trump. This is not nobody.
It's a bad move.
I love Trump. Trump is the best thing for America, probably in my lifetime since Reagan or with Reagan. But this, you people don't get lost on following an individual.
Right.
This is America.
Here's the thing. You have to think for yourself.
Yes.
Just because you vote for Trump does not mean, and this is like what Rand Paul said. Rand Paul said, he's an endearing man. I love him. He said, we play golf together. But I don't agree with him on everything. He's a free thinker.
Nor should he.
And all these robots up here are, if it's just insane.
Yeah, they like to.
There's nobody that's thinking for themselves here. It's just like drink the Kool-Aid, walk off the cliff,
jump on the coattail and drag along. They need to, be more independent in their words and actions. But I feel when they get in these positions, then they cow down, and then they feel like that, well, they have to represent. And yeah, you do have to represent, but you can be a representative in a strong way, just like we need here in Bedford County.
Yeah. We need it from top to bottom.
Yeah, you can talk, have representative, have discussions. It's simple.
When you've got a conservative that won by 75% in his district in Kentucky, and he's screaming, guys, we're headed right into the Titanic. He's representing those people.
Yes,
he would and I guarantee you, if people looked at what's going on with this instead of just watching the talking points on Fox News. Let me tell you something. I've been a fan of Fox News for years, but I've noticed this. They're as extreme to the right as MSNBC is extreme to the left.
Totally, 100%. I don't
and don't get me right. I'm as far right as anybody.
Yes.
But all this garbage, the bottom line is, this is the country. We have a financial crisis.
Yes.
And tariffs and this bill are not going to, it's not going to create any stability.
They're not conservatively strong. It's not a conservatively strong or fundamental bill. And if you're a principled conservative individual like we are, you would have to, kind of disagree with a lot of it, with the majority of it.
Somebody asked, who's corrupt? Washington, D.C., most corrupt city in the world.
Maybe that was a joke,
Outside of Kiev, Ukraine.
It is.
United States of America has the most corrupt city in the world.
Yes, and a lot of those right now that are in there, they're just biding their time. That they're hiding right now, and then they're biding their time till Trump could get out. Then they're going to reactivate again. These. I hope he can really weed out some of those bad actors.
He would be sitting alone.
Yeah, he would.
There ain't nobody up there. Let me tell you something. His cabinet, about half of them, they'll just go along with. They want free think. Yeah. I want people that's free thinking.
I want to
for me and for you and for my family, because we are headed. The Titanic is headed into an iceberg, and in the next year or two, we're not going to have a recession. We're going to have something that we've never seen before, Bo. And nobody's ready for it.
No.
All right. Changing gears onto the local. Bo, I've been watching this, and I've had people ask me, and I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm asking a question, okay, for people out there. Maybe somebody out there knows. But I can go to the gas pumps on Friday and fill my car up for $2.40.
Yes.
And then on Monday afternoon, it's $2.80.
It is.
Or $2.85.
Yes.
Or it might even be as low as $4.35. In one day,
it does.
The price changes just like that on a dime, and the price of crude oil has not changed a bit. It's been stable.
Not only in one day, I think multiple times throughout the day, you might see a price change in the gas. It has never been like that historically here or anywhere that I've ever been. But let's look at this. This has been a trend that's been happening since before Trump got in office. So the presidential election really has nothing to do with this.
This is a local thing.
So this is something that, everybody, I want you to try to pay attention. The first of the week, it's going to be a lot higher. At the end of the week, it's lower. I don't know why. That's
so
why
if you want to buy gas, you need to do it tomorrow after the change, or Saturday.
Yes, and then,
or Sunday. You got that window right there. Maybe that's what it is. The volume picks up on the weekend.
Yes.
I don't know.
But before 2020, it was never this volatile. It was always kind of in the range, and gas was. Now, it'll go up 40 cents.
And it seems like it's just here in like other small rural towns.
Lewisburg, a few other areas like that.
I don't get it.
I don't either. And I know we're off of the beaten path of the travel. They have to travel a little bit more inland, you would say, off the interstates. But that's never affected it before. There's
a few cents difference, but I mean, of like smaller trucks hauling smaller amounts, I think it costs more per gallon to haul it that way. Yeah. But it's not a huge deal to where we're swinging 40 and 45 cents just like that.
With crude oil being almost the same, there is no indication. It would have to be either an oversupply that they're trying to
clear the inventory. I don't know what it is, Bo, but I'm wanting somebody out there that knows, somebody maybe that works for one of these oil companies to explain to me why we get hammered on Monday every week.
We're getting hammered, so buy your gas on Friday. The words have been out.
I know. I've had so many people ask me like I'm controlling. I said I don't know.
I thought you had the button. Maybe
I don't have the button, man.
Well, I know that it is something to look at, and it's on every. It might be 20 cents difference right now on one side of town. I don't know if we're getting into gas wars or what's going on, but it hurts. I mean, it's not. Look, I look back at charts when we were preparing to talk about this. In 2020, it was $1.89 here. Does that feel, does that feel unreal news? Those were the good old days. Then COVID hit, and it seems that everything's been just volatile. People don't want to work, lazy. Here we go.
There's a lot of things that's controlling crude oil, mainly supply demand. We know that it's a commodity, and that's the way it works. And usually, starting this coming weekend, the price of crude oil goes up, because the demand, the traveling season is about to start.
That's right.
Kids are getting out of school. Summertime. And typically that causes crude oil to go up. Today, crude oil went down.
See, that does not make sense.
It does to me. It's telling me people are not traveling.
Well, that's it. That's what it's telling you. But
historically,
it doesn't make sense.
You look at car rentals. You look at airline flights. You look at how many people have reservations to travel on vacation. You look at that. It's down. Because people cannot afford.
No.
And it's not necessarily the traveling of the gas, but it's when you get there, when you go out to eat, the cost of lodging.
Yes.
Now, some areas, they're putting up specials because they're not booked.
That's right.
I think that goes into this cost of fuel. And you look at Israel, if they keep threatening to bomb Iran, the price of fuel is going to go up.
Yeah.
You look at the Saudis, they're going to say, we're going to increase production or reduce production. It affects, just them talking affects the price of crude oil.
When are we going to start producing more here then? I mean, I know we've got our reserves.
We're producing.
But why do we even depend on them? Why don't
we shouldn't. And I don't know that we do, but it creates I think we're pretty close to 100% us. But just the fact that the world supply goes up or down, and
that's going to affect
it changes all of it. Yeah,
if they're selling it cheaper than we are, then it's going to affect us.
Yeah. Also, hello, Stephen Gall. See you in there. But I mean, it's something I don't know. I'm waiting for an answer from somebody on this.
I know there's one of these.
If somebody does know, please comment. And Google, if you know why.
Don't Google or AI. They're not going to help you.
Gas Buddy ain't going to tell you.
Gas Buddy ain't your buddy on that.
Right now, there's some places in Tennessee that's got it for $2.34 a gallon.
Yeah, they do.
And we're sitting up here at $2.75, $2.78.
It's right. And in some of these, it's like in East Tennessee to West, don't go to Brentwood and buy gas. It's probably $10 a gallon there. But here, it's volatile. So we want to know why.
On I-65 right there, it's maybe 5 cents less than what we are, but it's pretty close. I was looking before we got on here. But if you know why that fuel price goes up all of a sudden on Monday.
And if you haven't, then start paying attention to that.
Yeah,
because you will see
watch it. And it's like one store will do it, and it's just like all of a sudden everybody knows it, and they all go up at the same time.
They do.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and you know what? This world's crazy, but it's nice out there. Be kind to each other. Our traffic's getting a little bit crazy. School's getting out. Let's try to, calm it down a little bit, and let's be easy for our police folks out there serving the good people, right? It's getting hot and tempers flare. So just be safe out there.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for watching Real Talk. We'll be back again real soon. Hopefully probably Monday, first of the week. And we'll try to keep everybody caught up on what's going on. And if you have something you want us to talk about, please share it in the comments. Please like and share our videos. We'll see you again next time.
See you.